How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid, which had quite the pullback inside of the market. When I was doing the technicals yesterday, I was saying if we see weakness inside of the market and it breaks through the levels we've been speaking about, it can get down to the 200-day moving average, and that's exactly what we had. I talked about it on Twitter and Stock Twits, and I was like, you know what? Those puts are already locked and loaded, locked in some profits. Be looking to jump into it again for tomorrow. But you know, I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on to Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to take a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $28.70, being down 14.10%. On the low, it tested $28.39, and then on the high, testing $33.91. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 66.724 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 40.78 million shares. So you can see we did have above average volume on the day, but we did deal with a good amount of selling pressure. When we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is at 29.72. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 50-day, the 21-day EMA, the 100-day, and as well as the 200-day. In my previous video, I was saying there's a strong possibility if we see weakness inside of the market, we could get to this 200-day level. And look where we're at. It was right around $28.85 at the time when I did that recording. So seeing us close at $28.70 was a good look. I know many of you were able to get in some puts, and I made sure I put that out there for you guys on Twitter. But aside from all of that, if you want to see some strength in Lucid again, it's going to have to come back to at least reclaim the $30 level. That'll be very essential. If it can't reclaim $30, then the next area that you'd want to see it actually hold up at will be around $26.78. If this area decides to ever end up breaking, then we can look forward to seeing Lucid get down to the $25 level. So again, market weakness is something you're going to want to keep an eye on. Plus on top of that, it was moving alongside with Tesla sympathy. Tesla had a big time pullback just like with many other EV plays, and Lucid was impacted. So again, let's see what it does going into tomorrow. But for things to look bullish again, this stock needs to reclaim back to that $30 level and then make that push going back to $32.50. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Lucid. So scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So we can see here for January the 27th, we have ONOF Global X Adaptive US Risk Management ETF that purchased 1,131 shares. And then we also see that we have Goku X Trackers MSCI Karase Equity ETF that purchased 2,790 shares. And now when we take a look at the short interest, the dark pool short volume ratio is at 58.23%. And then for the dark pool short volume, it is just over 14.24 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 600,000, updated 10 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 25.47%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, you can see for the close of the 25th, it is at 52.11. And then for the close of the 26th, which was yesterday, being at 58.23. So what this tells us, Lucid does continue to have short squeeze potential, and shorts have been increasing their positions as well. So now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we see here on the inflow, it's at 366, and then on the outflow, it was 406. When we take a look at the breakdown on the large, it was 4.43. On the medium, it was 130, and then on the small, it was 231. Taking a look at the outflow side, we could see on the large, it was 2.40. On the medium, it was 165, and then on the small, it was 230. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for today, January the 27th, it being that inflow of 2.03 million. And we also did see this on the 26th of 12.75 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, or funds, we have more buying than we have selling. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 4.07%. So this is up there for a stock like Lucid. It dealt with a good amount of selling pressure. It worked in sympathy alongside with Tesla. Tesla had a big time pullback, and this affected the whole entire EV sector as a whole. So this is why I wasn't too surprised with the price action. So let's go into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Lucid, when we take into consideration the price action, like I was saying previously, we ended up getting down to that 200-day right around $28.85 from the previous video. Of course, things do change because it moves alongside with the price. So going into tomorrow, if you're going to want to play some puts, you want to look for some weakness below the $27.80 level. The stronger support we have under this level is 25 bucks. So that is one thing you want to keep in mind. For those that are looking for a bullish reversal, of course, Lucid needs to get back into the $32 range, get back above $32.50, then make that move going to 34 and so on. So again, this is going to take a lot of momentum here. And this is why I'm saying for the short term, it is definitely looking bearish. So if you are going to be jumping into this play, do your homework, do your due diligence. And if you're an investor looking to get into for a long-term position, continue to exercise patience like I've been saying for the longest time. Many of you were saying, well, you know what, I need to buy in right now when it was in the $40 range to $50 range and so forth. And I was like, you know what, no, pump the brakes. Hold on a second. They need to actually live up to the valuation that they have been given inside of the market. They are overvalued. And look, here we are with Lucid pulling back, going into the $20 range, and we're going to be looking for it to get down to 25 if we continue to see market weakness. I saw inside of the after hours, it was picking up some momentum. You see that Tesla was moving up, and of course this has an impact on the sector because Apple did end up releasing earnings, and of course they were able to crush it. And this could help the stock market as a whole. So this is why I'm saying pay attention to those key levels. Lucid could end up moving very well, but the moment we end up getting those fake outs, which we have been getting in the market, don't be surprised to see it pull back and know those levels that we talk about. I know many of you sent me messages already saying, you know what, Dre, thank you so much. I've been able to make so much money on Lucid since you've been covering it and so on, and I'm glad that I'm here to help you guys out. Also, when we went on Fintel taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. So this is why it's very important that we have volume coming into the play. If you don't have that buying pressure like we saw weeks ago, then you're going to continue to see this stock pull back. This is a short seller's dream. Many of them are trying to bring the stock all the way back down to the $20 level. So I say, you know what? Why fight the movement? Instead, I'm going to take advantage of it so I can build up my cash pile while we're going through all of this volatility inside of the market. If you're going to be putting your money in any growth stocks whatsoever, just know there's a lot of risk involved. It will pull back. So if you are considering it, make sure you've done your homework, you've done your due diligence, you have high conviction in the play, and there's actually a solid company behind the stock. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.